Your life experience, good or bad, is a gift when you share it with others. At Taxi Chronicles, we allow real riders with real stories to share their gift. So hopefully this episode will intrigue, enhance or inspire you. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe. Morning. Yes, we're back with another episode, another rider. Today we're honoured to have a surgeon in the house, a specialist in liver, so be careful. And she's going to tell us what it takes to be a surgeon and the route of education she took. So nice to have you here today, Sally.
Thank you.
So tell us, when did you first realise you wanted to be a surgeon?
So I was lucky enough to travel abroad, and I went to India, and I worked in a hospital there volunteering, and I realised I wanted to be a surgeon when I thought I can do something to help people. And I think that's what is a sign of having a good life, is if you can do something to help a little corner of the world. So I started on the long process of trying to become a surgeon.
Were you a medical student there?
Yes, yeah. So I did a medical placement there and saw some different injuries and different surgeries happening there. It really inspired me to take on the challenge.
So you was on a degree?
Yes. So the training pathway to become a doctor and a surgeon is really long. So medical school takes 6 years usually.
Okay.
And then after that, there's a period of at least 10 years training to become a surgeon.
Really?
Yeah.
Talking like 16 years.
Yeah, it's a really long time, but all that time you're learning more and more, and you start out with simple operations and then you gain more confidence and more skills to learn complex things.
That sounds deep. So to become a surgeon, you learned when you was in India, when you decided you wanted to be a surgeon. What put you in the medical industry prior to that? Because
yeah, I mean, nobody in my family is a doctor, so I would still encourage anybody out there who kind of likes the sound of it just to try to volunteer in a hospital, which is what I did. Volunteer in a hospital as like a healthcare assistant and see if there's anything you can do at your local GP to help out. Volunteering with kids and people, and just see if you get a feel for what it's like to help others and work in a busy environment like that. So I think I just thought that it would be a great career, and you can travel and work abroad with it as well. And it's a fantastic thing to work for the NHS. So I would encourage anybody to give it a go, even if you don't know any doctors.
what are the most common liver issues that you come across?
Yes, so we're doing a lot of liver cancer, or cancers that have spread to the liver, and removing parts of those cancers. And also nearby is the gallbladder. People get problems with their gallbladder, gallstones.
Just to make sure everyone understands, what purpose does the liver and the gallbladder serve?
So the liver detoxifies your body, clears out basically substances that your body doesn't need to use, that don't have nutritional value. And it also helps digest your food, so it makes bile to help digest your food, and it makes a lot of other things that are useful for your body. It's a very important organ, but it's also an amazing organ. You can remove parts of it and it will completely regenerate. So yeah, amazing organ.
Like a lizard in a tail.
Yeah, exactly. It regenerates its function and heals really well. It's got a fantastic blood supply.
Is that the thing where you can live with only one?
Yeah, you can live with half of the lobe of your liver, so that's what we're having to do with some patients who need to have that section of their liver removed because it's got a cancer in it.
How do you get cancer in your liver?
So it can spread to your liver from other parts of your body because cancers can travel in the bloodstream and they tend to go towards the liver with its good blood supply. And then other conditions like alcohol and hepatitis cause liver cancer.
So if you want a healthy liver, no alcohol.
Yes.
So be careful when you're having sex.
Yeah, be careful not to catch hepatitis from needles and tattoos. Yeah, it's a blood transmission. And we also operate on the pancreas, which is nearby. People get pancreas cancer, and you might have heard that that's quite a bad prognosis, that one.
What does the pancreas do?
The pancreas produces lots of enzymes as well to help digest your food. But you can live without your pancreas and take supplements to replace that function.
Okay. Supplements and like what?
Just supplements with your food, basically, to help digest your food. But often we don't remove all of the pancreas, we just remove a part that has cancer in it.
Okay. What kind of personality would you say you need to be a surgeon?
Yeah, I think first of all you need to be determined and be a bit more of a marathon sprint rather than a sprinter, because it's such a long training pathway. You need to be determined to get through. You need to be a kind person because you're working very hard really for other people, and it's important to be kind, to inspire other surgeons and be kind to your patients and really know that you're going to work to do the best thing for them. You do need to have some practical skills, obviously, but it's funny that you don't already need to think, oh yes, I'm very good practically. You can gain most of the skills that you need throughout your training to become a surgeon. And I would say you need to cope with stress quite well.
How do you cope with stress?
So, as we were saying before, I'm in my running kit, so I like to run home from work. If we don't finish the operating day too late, then I'll jog home from work, and you can think about your day, and by the time you get home, there's that separation between what's happened at the hospital and relaxing in the evening.
Do you find that you're operating every day, or is there some days where...
No, so today we're operating, but tomorrow we've got a clinic, so we'll have patients come to see us.
So you diagnose?
Yeah, and talk to them about if they need an operation, or often if we don't think they need an operation because it's not that sort of problem that's going to be solved with an operation. So seeing patients in clinic and other patients on the ward that have been admitted either before or after their surgery, we need to come and see them in the morning, say hello to them, how are you?
So there's before and after care then, really? Exactly.
Most of it is out of the operating theatre. We'll do 1 or 2 long days of operating a week.
So a lot of your job, you spend convincing people, really?
Yeah, exactly. You need to enjoy talking to patients and talking to them about the operations. And
do you ever look at someone and think, I don't know why, there's no point in me doing this operation because you're not going to stop drinking. You're just going to carry on. So, do you see what I mean? So
yeah.
That's been my issue with I agree with NHS. I love it. I believe in 110%. But there's some people. I interviewed a doctor, and he deals with throat cancer.
Yeah.
And he said you'll see people smoking.
Yeah.
Just before the operation.
Yeah.
And I said, well, it's like, why do it?
It's true. There's a lot of ethical dilemmas in surgery, and I think that one of the main messages of being a doctor, though, is that you do help whoever is in front of you, and if you're a doctor in a war zone, then they're often helping enemy soldiers as well. So you have to try to forget about the ethics of it, because that's not really decided by you as an individual. It's decided by the fact that we've decided to have this thing called the NHS that will help anyone, and also, where do you draw the line? So yes, a lot of people have self-inflicted problems like alcoholism, but there's loads of things that are self-inflicted, like cyclists crashing and sports injuries. I know what you mean. It's a really difficult area, but we encourage and support and help people for all the difficulties they've had that might mean they have become an alcoholic, and obviously it's not safe to operate on people if they're recently grossly under the influence of alcohol. So we have to support rehabilitation. And
if you had to do it all again, would you do it exactly the same, or would you change your route of education or work experience?
Yeah, I think I'd do it the same. I'd still want to become a surgeon. I think the particular area of surgery and cancer surgery that I'm in is very stressful for having a work-life balance, and if you want to have a family and things like that in the future, it's not necessarily compatible. But if your passion for it and your determination exceeds the other things that will be challenging, then you should still go for it. So I'm happy with where I am, and it's a long pathway that I've made it through so far.
That's good. What would you say to the 16-year-old you?
I would say keep that little spark inside that gave you that feeling that you really wanted to do it, and try to gradually add a few bits of wood and tinder to the fire to keep it going.
Yeah, because you really need a big motivation.
Yeah, you do. You need to have something and that's why I suggested to go into a hospital and volunteer and work in community projects, because you'll see people and you'll meet people that do inspire you and think, God, I remember that person, and one day I could do something to help them or change their life. So
you've been a great guest. Last two questions.
Yeah.
What's the impact you want to have on the world?
I'd love to be able to inspire the younger generation to do surgery, especially young girls out there who think, oh, I don't know you don't see as many female surgeons. Certainly I haven't had any bosses that are females, so I'd really like to inspire all young people, but particularly girls who maybe don't think they have a voice or a part to play in this area. Anybody can do it. You don't require a certain background or a certain gender or anything to become a surgeon. You just need to have the determination, and there's lots of people who will support and help you to do it throughout the journey.
Okay, that's good. You spoke about long hours, and also people always concerned about pay, as in pay for education. Is it an expensive thing? Do you have to pay like 50 grand to become a surgeon?
No, so medical school is obviously quite expensive, but the NHS will pay for certainly the last few years of that, depending on how if you've done that medical degree as a graduate or an undergraduate, if it's your first degree, or if you did a different degree beforehand. It is expensive because it's longer than most degrees. And after that, there are courses, but the NHS will give you several £100 a year funding to pay for courses that you need to go on. And the rest of the training is done by the NHS. So you're not paying for that. It's done at the individual hospitals that you're at.
Okay, that's good. But the overall, if my daughter, 16-year-old daughter, says she wants to be a surgeon.
Yeah.
Like when she said she wanted to be a pilot,
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, all right, that's 100 grand. That's 100 grand.
Yeah.
What's the cost for the course?
So you don't pay for that training once you're a doctor to become a surgeon. There's 1 or 2 courses a year, but you're given funding by the NHS for that. So you should be able to go into it and get all of the funding you need from the NHS, because it's in there. They have to train future surgeons. So I'm being paid to train to become a specialist in a particular area by them.
I believe you've answered it now. I understand. You're saying the degree part, which is the doctor.
Yes.
You pay for that.
You pay for that like any degree. Yeah.
Is that like the normal £9,000 a year?
Yes, exactly.
Okay,
and then in the last 2 years, you do get that paid for by the NHS.
But they pay it back?
Yes, exactly.
Oh, is it?
What if you're going to complete the the degree, then you get some. Yeah, exactly.
Oh, okay.
And then after that, you shouldn't have to pay for many more courses yourself. They should be all paid for by the study budget you get. And then once you have picked surgery as a route, the NHS is paying you your salary to gain more skills year on year.
Well, thanks a lot for that. And
That's okay.
And we wish you well. Very
Thank
informative.
you. Have a great day. Bye.
Bye. We hope you liked that Taxi Chronicles interview. Don't forget to share and subscribe to get the latest episode. Ever considered investing in the continent with the fastest growing economies and population on Earth? The same continent that holds 30% of the world's known natural resources. Listen to our sister podcast, Africa Investor Stories, where you hear real investors with real stories from around the world share their experience of investing in Africa. We post Monday and Thursday at 10 a.m. British Standard Time.